Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is stock chart update for Valero, Whole Foods, Solar City, and Tesla. We last talked about these 2 weeks ago, so let's start off here with Valero. Okay, Valero. Okay, last time we talked about this, I said this looks like a possible developing head and shoulders top. I think we have 5 primary waves up on a move. Let's take a glance at the weekly chart. We haven't looked at that in about a month. So we've added a few more bars in here, and it's coming up off of this this trend line that I've got drawn in here. I do believe we've got 5 waves up. I've changed this count over here, I think slightly. But it looks clearer on the wrong one. Looks clearer on this chart, actually. When I go to the second one, in here, hit 2, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, shallow 4th, pullback 5th top. Okay, in that 3rd primary move. So right now, as we look at this and we zoom in on this, it looks like it has closed a good portion of this gap in here, and I talked about that last time, but it hasn't closed all of it. So the low is 55.86. So if we came back up and closed that low, it would get real close to where this dotted line is, which is equal to the height of this left shoulder over here. But the symmetry is looking good. We just got to see if this will, how this plays out. And how long is this taking here? It's 1, 2, a little over 3 weeks. This one's taking a little longer than that. Here's 2, 4, 5 weeks to get up here. So it's not moving at the same type of rhythm as the other one, but that's okay. I mean, they don't do it exactly the same on both sides. It's just, you're looking for some symmetry. So that's the best picture I've got of this right now. I mean, right now, short term, it's trending up. I would not sell this yet because it's not telling you it's ready to go down and hasn't broken down below the 10. But this is what I'm watching for. This is the scenario we've got in mind. So we're watching to see if that scenario plays out. Okay, that's Valero. Whole Foods. Let's look at Whole Foods on a weekly chart. And we'll remember what we were doing here. I think we had a major impulse wave up here over 1992 to 2005. And then we had this huge corrective action down to the bottom in 2008. And now we're in this other move here. Now, because it's pulled back below the top here, this can't be impulse 3. Okay, this can't be Roman numeral 3. Because Roman numeral 4 pulling back cannot overlap 1. So this must be a wave within Roman numeral 3 is my best reading on it, unless it's still part of some big grander correction that's going on, like it's going on in the Dow. But right now I'm going to look at this and say, okay, this is an impulse wave up. Okay, so now I'm looking for the correction. So 50% would be slightly below where we were in here. The other thing about looking at it on a weekly chart, I'll blow it up a little bit better. This is where we started to see the divergence come in, okay? And this is why I started to say, well, maybe Whole Foods is getting ready for a turn because we're seeing divergence in here. But sometimes you get divergence and it keeps coming down. So now on a daily chart, we tried to get in back in here, got in with calls, then took myself out, then we got in with puts, then we got stopped out. So this has messed with me. Okay, so now I'm a little cautious down in here. I do think it's trying to turn. I like the way it's pulled up and broken this trend line, especially after breaking this trend line. Let me get rid of this for a minute. Okay, this trend line was steeper. Okay, so now it's starting to break this one, but it hasn't had a follow-up close above that. So I'm still a little wary, but it looked good. And the other reason is because of the volume that kicked in, higher than the 50-day average moving volume. Let's see if there's something else. The other thing that's going on here is there is a lot of air, what I call air, between the 233-day moving average. A lot of people use the 200. I like to use 233, and I like to use 55, stay with Fibonacci numbers. But there's a lot of air in here, which gives it a lot of room to pull back. And then, of course, you've got this big gap. So if this were to continue to move up, and I'd like to get the 21 above the 55 to have an indication it's trying to turn to. So I'm going to watch this to see if there's a way to get back in this. You know, first target would be the high here, and second target would be a gap close. So right now, I'm just monitoring Whole Foods and not in it. Let's see. The next one is Solar City is the one I'm going to look at. Let's see, where is it? Here it is. Okay, so Solar City, we talked about this, that again, primary made 1 up, 2 back. We've gotten 5 waves up in here. Now I'm expecting a intermediate wave 2 pullback. And right now it looks like it seems to be accommodating us. By the way, today is Friday, July 29th. So all of the data on here is through Thursday, the 28th. These are daily charts. And it's midday. Solar City is currently up 9 cents. I'm not sure today is going to have any big dramatic move. Dow's up 8 points. And it's almost noon on Central Time here in the Dallas area. So Solar City right now seems to be acting you know, the way we're expecting it to. I would like to see on an intermediate wave 2 at least a 50% pullback. That would be down here into the 62 to 63 range. So we'll have to see if we get that. And overall, though, I think the chart is bullish. I think we are trying to launch into a new wave up. But we'll have to watch the wave count and see what's happening. And then the other caution, let me get rid of this. The only other caution I've got is that a lot of times these waves, you know, when you're in the corrective mode, they can morph into something else. You can think you're launching off into something because we got 5 waves, so that gives me some confidence, but it could morph into something else. So right now I'm sticking with this wave count, sticking with the bullish mode, and that's the story on Solar City. All right, now the last one is Tesla, and Tesla is currently trading up 6.89. It moves around. It's 270, hit 272 high. So it's popping up in here today, up around 272 here. Now, I'm still staying with the A, B, C count. I'm still staying with corrective action because I keep looking at it and you know, I may be wrong on this. You know, I may be wrong with this 5th intermediate wave in here. Some people have called this. Now, I mean, you look at this picture. Some people call that this from here to here was wave 1. And I have a hard time saying that that's wave 1, all of wave 1, given the move that you had here and then the choppiness and corrective you had here. So I just can't get there. And I like the fact that this big, strong move in here, 2 may actually be all the way over to here. I mean, maybe it dilly-dallied around. And, you know, it might be all the way over here in terms of complex correction. I'm going to keep it here for now because whether I have it here or here doesn't matter a whole lot. What I really think has happened is that this was a big, strong intermediate wave 3. And, you know, this type of corrective move in here makes me believe that this ended right in here. So this is the count I've got. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. And here's a couple other things that I'm looking at on here. I do think we've got 3 waves down in here. You know, 1, 2, 3, and this third one, it was 3 waves with the middle wave being a like a diagonal triangle type of move. So, and I think this is a possible, you know, 1, 2, and a third wave that we're working up here into B. Now, here's the thing. When you look at this move from here to here, this last leg, and I talked about this last time, we're getting divergence, okay, on all 3 indicators. But the stock continues to push higher on this last little dip up, last little move up. It's pushing higher. So we'll have to see how this ends up for the weekend. The other thing I want to point out is the volume has dropped off dramatically, and I got some notes in here. All right, so this high, let me look at this. So look at the dotted line down here. That's the 50-day moving average of volume. And you can see how it's slowly just dropping off and dropping off and dropping off. You know, that happens in corrective mode. Okay, so here's the peak, here where I'm calling the peak of wave 1, and that is on February 26th. Okay, so on February 26th, I'm going to look at my notes. The 50-day average volume was 9.5 million. So that's the average over the last 50 days was 9.5 million shares a day. Okay. As of yesterday, which was this last date, Thursday 28th, the 50-day moving average of volume is 5.3 million a day, 44% less, okay? And that's the average over 50 days. So the volume from between here and here has dropped off 44%. And, you know, I'm just not, I don't know, I'm still just questioning that this is a new impulsive move up, you know, to the high side. So, but it keeps pushing slightly up in here, and you know, these percentage-wise, it doesn't take much to move on this chart like this. So, anyway, that's and here's the scenario. I mean, if you're in the stock, there's no reason to get out at this point. It's not breaking down. I mean, it didn't do like it did here, started to close below the 10, you know, and then cross below the 21. Now, then you kind of, you know, become cautious and get out. You can always get back in. But right now, it's not really, you know, you got a little bit of reason here, and you can always get back in if you were overly cautious. But it's not breaking down up into here yet. Now, if this starts to roll over, it may break pretty quick, but here's the trend line I'm watching. This is the red trend line that I'm watching, which I think is critical. If it breaks this, I think it's going to come down here pretty quickly. All right, that's my scenario on Tesla. Again, you know, bullish mode, because I do think we've only seen primary wave 1 up. And now I'm thinking that, you know, we're trying to do some kind of primary wave 2. But we may still be in primary wave 1. I just don't see it yet. All right, that's it for today. I will be back tomorrow on Saturday with market update. And then I'll have to look at my schedule. I think Monday or Tuesday I've got another update video on stocks. So, all right, this has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. If you felt like this video was helpful, please share it on social media. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Just click on the little red box here. You can download the PDF I've got for you, and access to the Trade Ideas webpage. And you can follow me with updates. When I get updates on posts and that type of thing, you'll get an email update. So, all right, have a great weekend, everyone. Talk to you on the next video.